What a great movie. I love that movie. You know, I was sitting here working on this, on the body, which we'll talk about here in a minute, and I was looking at the artwork here. You know, Mel's Drive-In and the scene from American Graffiti, and I thought, well, shoot, why not add bits and pieces of it from that movie into my intros? And, you know, I watched this movie I don't know how many times, millions of times. I never get tired of it. But anyway, let's get back to the Hudson. Last video, we were getting it ready. I was kind of explaining to some of the new guys how to work with the resin body. And we've done some more work to it. As you can see, we've got all the windows opened up now, so we're pretty good to go there. We'll have to make our own glass, but we'll talk about that when the time comes. But we've got the body pretty much ready to go. Now, I did some more test fitting because, you know, you always want to test fit more than once. Because the last thing you want to do is spend all your time putting a beautiful paint job on a resin body, and then have to turn around and manhandle it and screw the paint up because you have to force fit your parts because they don't fit correctly. So this is the part where you really want to take your time and test fit twice, you know. So when you paint this and you're ready to put all the parts on, they're going to fit perfect. You don't have to dick around and ruin a paint job. So as you saw in the last video, we had a problem with the front frame rails not fitting where they're supposed to go. So we've got that straightened out, and I just use a Dremel motor and a router bit to get in there and remove the resin. And put my glasses on and move the resin from that area that was keeping frame rails from sitting where they should. So we've got that done. You can see it looks pretty good. And then I noticed, even though the frame was fitting into the body, I had to kind of, it was under a little bit of pressure. Because I noticed the frame was bowed just a little bit where pushing the back in ended up bowing the center here. So, you know, you don't want that because that can cause you problems down the road. When you go to set the car on its wheels, you could end up with the car not sitting correctly, or you can end up with issues trying to get your interior in it because the frame's not flat. So I went back again and looked at the rear here and noticed that it was kind of thick from here to here, and it was keeping this from, this side would fit okay, but this side was kind of up like, let me see if I can do this here, it's kind of up like this. Oop, can't even see it. Kind of up like that. So it's like, well, that's not going to work. So I took a marker, kind of like we did in the old days when I was working on real cars. We would take grease pencils and mark areas on the body that needed attention. Kind of like a reminder, kind of like a post-it note, I guess, to remind you, okay, you know, you need to do here, this, that, and this. So what I do is I usually take a Sharpie and I'll just put little hash marks on the area of the body that needs attention. And you can see my marks from here to here. So this is the area I needed to work on and basically thin down to get the frame to go in, because we want that frame to just drop in like it drops in the plastic body that came with this kit. So we, you know, by ensuring and taking the time that we do that, we're not going to have any issues when we go to put everything together. So we got that taken care of. And then the next thing I wanted to do was test the hood, because I've worked with enough resin bodies and resin hoods to know that they never fit. They just don't. I don't know why, but I've never had a hood fit perfect. Whether the hood was plastic or resin, it never fit perfect. So, and this one didn't fit. I had to do a little work on the hood to get the hood to fit the resin body. The hood was too wide, so I had to go in with a small metal file and make it sand a file a little bit on the fender here and here, basically make the opening just a little wider. And then I came back on the hood with a sanding stick and sanded the sides, a little off the corners, And then we were pretty much good to go. So we got the hood to fit nice. So that's the plastic hood. Alright, we're back, and I think when we get done with this segment, that's going to be it for this video. We've got the straight 6 done, and I think it came out pretty good. It's a cool little straight 6. Not a bad little straight 6. I was reading up on the specs of the real thing, and it was actually a pretty good engine for the time period for 52. I mean, it put out pretty decent torque and pretty decent horsepower, so wasn't a bad straight 6 at all. So the only thing I changed was the red on the air cleaners. I went to a metallic red, which is Vallejo, just to get them snazzy. But we wired it. Here's the other side. The only thing I didn't do yet is put the exhaust manifold on. I'm not going to do that until I get this in the frame so I can get it lined up with, because I'm afraid if I put it on now that's not going to line up correctly when it's in the frame. So I'm going to do that when I go to put it in the frame, so I can make sure I get everything aligned correctly. But that is the straight 6. The only thing I got to do is go back and give it a black wash, because it's kind of clean right now. So it has a lot of great detailing on it, so we'll give it a black wash to kind of bring things out. And there is the straight 6. And there's decals that go on the air cleaners, more than one. So I just I'm going to wait till last to put them in. Once it's in the car, then I'll put the air cleaner decals on. And I think that is it for step 1. Oh, actually it's step 1A, B, C, D, and E. So yeah, that's it for the engine. Yep. So yeah, pretty spiffy. We've used a little bit of everything. Vallejo, Folk Art, Craft Smart. We use the Craft Smart Burnt Orange for the oil filter. The red air cleaners is the Vallejo metallic signal red. And then we used Vallejo Steel, Vallejo Oily Steel, Vallejo Gold. We used Anita's Rust, Anita Ceramic Coat Raw Sienna, a little bit of gunmetal from Folk Art. That's mainly on the manifold here, the exhaust manifold, to kind of rust it up. Regular steel from Vallejo, so just pretty much a little bit of everything on this engine. So, but yeah, pretty cool. We'll be doing more of the classic rewinds. Everybody seems to enjoy those, and we'll break out another kit and that I've built in the past, and have some fun. Alright guys, take care, and we'll see you in the next video.